There are a few standard paint palette types that are widely used by artists. Today, we'd like to explain some of the available styles of paint palettes and their benefits. Welcome to Acrylic Arts Academy. We teach the world to paint. We all have items in our creative toolboxes that we use time and time again. Maybe it's a favorite set of paintbrushes, an awesome paint palette, or an old but trusted easel. Items like these are the workhorses of your creative practice. Let's chat about paint palettes for acrylic painters available on the market today. On the left of this image is a type of paint palette that comes in varying sizes. Sometimes you can get these white plastic palettes in a multi-pack, which are usually price-friendly. This style can come in rectangular or circular designs and has wells that are useful for mixing various hues that don't contaminate one another. It's also great to have several palettes if you have kids or students who want to paint in a classroom or daycare setting. They're easy to clean, and we can attest to the fact that even though they're plastic, they last a while. If you'd like to try this style of palette out, check out the description below this video to find a link. The style on the right is usually made of lacquered wood or plastic. You've seen artists use this style of palette throughout history. They're a tried and true style that have been around for quite some time. Typically, there's a thumb hole so the artist can easily carry this palette around. Because it is flat and doesn't have wells for separate paint colors, this palette is cleaned by scraping the paint off with a palette knife or wiping it off before rinsing it. Its flatness can also serve an artist who uses palette knives well because it's easier to pick up a small amount of paint evenly or mix colors on a flat surface. If you'd like to try this style of palette out, check out the description below this video to find a link. It is difficult to save paint from one session to the next with either of these palette styles. If you have a good plastic wrap or a large enough plastic bag with a zipper, you might be able to save the paint for a day or two. Recently, we started using a modern palette called the Sta-Wet palette. It's contained within a flat plastic box that snaps shut to seal it. Within the palette, there's a thin sponge layering the bottom and a piece of specially made palette paper on top. This palette keeps your paint fresh and usable for an insanely long amount of time when you set it up correctly. All you have to do is wet the sponge, soak the paper, and put it all back together. Be sure to read the instructions for specifics. Yes, this style of paint palette will cost slightly more than the plastic or wood versions, but in our opinion, it's absolutely worth it. We have already found that paint lasts way longer in this style of palette, and it saves on the cost of paint by reducing waste. This is without a doubt our favorite paint palette that we've ever used. Check this style of paint palette out in the links listed below this video. Here's a bonus that you may not have considered. Did you know that old ice trays make for fantastic DIY paint palettes? You can easily mix several colors without any overlap, plus they can be stored in a large plastic zipper bag to preserve the paint for your next session. What style of paint palette is your favorite? We'd love to hear from you in the comments below. We hope you learned a bit about the most common types of paint palettes available today. Please subscribe to our channel for even more helpful acrylic painting content. Begin your painting journey with us. Just visit acrylicartsacademy.com/free guides.